What's up guys, Syiler here, and we're back with another rare mount guide per se, but this is a guide on the Amani battle bear, and this is going to be a solo guide on how to do it. Now this is from the Cataclysm instance Zul'aman. It used to be a raid back in TBC, but it's been remade as an instance. If you're unfamiliar where it is, it's in Ghostlands in Eastern Kingdoms, and if you're Horde, best way to go is to get the portal to Silvermoon and then just fly to Zul'aman to Ghostlands. Or if you're Alliance, you can go to Eastern Plaguelands, run through the portal, and then run up to Zul'aman. They're the kind of quickest routes, so they're the ones that I know of anyway. There might be quicker ones, but they're the ones I use. So then you'll get to Zul'aman, and you can just turn it onto heroic difficulty and run inside. Hello, where did you come from? So, and this is going to be a guaranteed drop chance, but the catch is you have to do it in a certain time period. So once again, similar to like the bronze Drake and the... what other timed runs have we got? There's other timed runs out there, I think. But like similar to the bronze Drake, if you do it in a timed period, you will get the mount guaranteed. Same thing here. If you kill all the bosses in a certain time period, you will get the mount guaranteed. Only for one person though. And because this is a solo guide, I'm going to assume you are doing it in one person. I have a guide from way back when it was relevant content where I showed you doing it in a group. And if you still do want to do it in a group, then either the solo guide or the group version will help you out. But head inside, talk to Vol'jin, and then once you speak to Vol'jin, you know, do the little cutscene, talk to him and click on the gong. He'll do a bit of RP and eventually the door will open. And then the timed run begins. So as soon as this gate opens is when as soon as the first mob becomes active, the timed run will start. So the one on the left hand side, the one that you see me standing next to, is the one that will become active first. So I always stand near him just to, you know, get that extra second of DPS on him. And he will put a rend on you, which is kind of deadly. Now, as you've seen, there was a patrol, and you can completely avoid that every single time, so I would recommend avoiding that. And then head up the path and pull both of these packs. Focus down the Windworkers first of all, just because they do chain lightning and a heal, so definitely the more deadly out of the two. And then once they're dead, I focus down the remaining mobs, just kind of AoE them down. Now, because this part is a gauntlet, you will periodically get a pack of birds or two mobs from behind that will come in. And these will keep happening until you pull and aggro the Tempest. And then one more wave will come if it's on its way, kill that, and then you'll get no more patrols or gauntlet spawns. Once all those mobs are dead, you can aggro the first boss. And this guy isn't too much of a challenge. I would recommend using cooldowns on this because they'll probably be up by the next boss. At least 2 to 3 minute cooldowns anyway, I would definitely recommend. As you can see, we've got 30 minutes on the clock, and as soon as he dies, we get an additional 5 minutes. Now the things you'll need to worry about here is a lot of nature damage, so if you have anything to reduce magic damage, I would use it there. And also, his birds will peck you, and you'll get put into the Eye of the Storm, which you don't really need to worry about. So head down the river, head to the other side, and aggro the patrol here, the pack here, just by walking in front of the boss. He'll do some RP, and then they'll both jump down. There'll be 2 axe throwers here, and I would recommend CCing them or burning them down first, as they do periodically do a 2-second stun each. That has no diminishing returns, so you can be stunned for 4 seconds if you are unlucky. Once they're dead, we head over to these warbears. Now, I've tried avoiding this pack, and it just seems like near impossible to avoid if you don't have a stealth. So we just pull them and get them out of the way. They don't really do anything too worrying anyway. This pack, though, is quite difficult. It has 4 mobs, an axe thrower, a medicine man, and 2 of the protector guys. I would focus down the medicine man first and probably CC the axe thrower just to get rid of that stun. The medicine man will put down totems like a protective totem and a healing totem. Kill the protective totem as you won't be able to do any damage to anyone while that's up, and then kill the healing totem just to stop them from healing. Once these 2 are dead, you can head up the stairs and get onto the next pack. So you'll have 2 Warbringers here, and if you stun them at around 30 to 40% and then carry on DPSing them, they'll dismount but their bears won't spawn. It's kind of something that people used to use back in the day when they did this as a group, and it just meant 1 less mob you have to kill, so it's definitely worth doing, you know, takes away that additional mob. As you see, I don't have 2 stuns, so I couldn't stun that second one. Here I'd recommend CCing the axe thrower and burning down the medicine man, and then killing the bears if you've got the axe thrower CC'd, or killing the axe thrower next. Once these are dead, I definitely recommend getting back to full health and mana, as this boss is a pain in the ass, essentially. This is probably the most difficult boss in here. And the reason for that, he'll charge someone. If you're the only person there, he'll charge you. And that'll increase your physical damage taken by 500%. So as you see, I've wiped quite a few times on this already. My timer's gone down to near enough nothing. And yeah, you do have a bit of room for error and messing up, but he puts this debuff on you which will cause you to take 500% physical damage, and then he'll do a brutal strike with that debuff will hit you for 440k-ish. So what I'd recommend doing is CD in the first one, immunity in the second debuff, and then you should be fine from there on out. If you don't have an immunity, then you definitely want to use any cooldowns on each of the brutal strikes. He should do 2 to 3 before he transitions. So definitely save like damage reductions for the brutal strikes. Then we're going to head down this path. We can avoid all the trash packs apart from this one. So we will pull this and quickly AoE it down. Now that last boss, if you have any questions about it, it is, as I said, the most difficult boss in here to solo, just because of that 500% damage increase debuff. So as I said, do save a cooldown for each of the brutal strikes, and use any major CDs. Even if you have to wait for 2 minutes for your CDs to come up before you fight him, I would definitely recommend doing that. So this pack isn't avoidable, but it is susceptible to CC. So I would recommend CCing the mobs here, like the Guardian and the Flamecasters, and DPS down either the Guardian or the Flamecasters first, and leave this Juggernaut till last. He isn't too much of an issue. Now we're on to the third boss. And this guy, if you kill him, you won't get any additional time. The first 2 bosses, you will get 5 minutes each if you kill them. So at this point, whatever time you've got left is what you've got left. And how he works is he'll spawn ads which will hatch the eggs. The eggs will come at 6 at a time. You can either slow the DPS on the boss and wait till all the eggs spawn slowly, or you can carry on DPSing him and get him to transition, which means he'll spawn all the eggs at the same time. So you'll have all the eggs to deal with at once. I'd rather do that just because I can AoE them down or burn him down before it's even an issue. So it's up to you which way you want to go about that. As you've seen, I was able to avoid all the trash there just by going into the water. You can avoid the patrol. And then these mobs will spawn on you regardless. There's no way to avoid these. I'd only pull 1 pack at a time because you end up with like 4 to 6 cats per pack. And they do really hurt, so I would recommend getting rid of these slowly, AoEing them down, or even single target focusing. It's up to you, whichever one you can do better. For me, I just AoE and make things easier. Now, the talents I'm using are like Selfless Healer, the Hammer, I can't remember what it's called, the AoE Hammer. I'm using Long Arm of the Law, and Holy Avenger just for the additional AoE damage and the off healing. So now we're on to the final boss. We have 4 minutes left, which is plenty of time to kill this guy. He will spawn a healing totem, and he has 2 phases. So get him out of the healing totem. As you see, I mess up and he is slightly inside it, so I just would get completely away from the healing totem. He has phase 1 where he'll just be normal and do damage to you. Then he'll have phase 2 where he splits into his troll form and his cat form. Just keep on DPS in his troll form, ignore the cat, and DPS down these corrupt lightning totems as soon as possible, because it's just a lot of damage that you can just easily avoid by doing 2 seconds of damage. And then in the final phase, he'll carry on spawning the corrupt lightning totems regardless of which form he's in. So just keep on DPS in his troll form when he splits, and then DPS his normal form, and that's the only thing there. And eventually when his combined form dies, that's when he's actually dead. So as you can see, his combined form is nearly dead now, and that is the end of the timed run. So I had a couple of minutes left, and I did mess up quite heavily on the second boss. So it does give you quite a bit of room for error if you're struggling on the second boss. Don't worry, you can probably get in and have 2 to 3 attempts on him max before you're out of time. And then make sure you do speak to the troll in the cage. The mount doesn't drop from the boss, it drops from this cache that the troll will actually get for you once you're freer. She'll run around the room for a couple of minutes, and then she'll head to the back right corner where we're currently stood now. She'll break it, and there you go, a guaranteed battle there. So good luck, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments below. See ya!